My name is Mohammed Zaman. I'm the owner and franchisee of an urgent care location in West Haven, Connecticut. And this franchise is part of the American Family Care Network. We also opened up this clinic around April of last year, but the journey started about 2 to 3 years back. And here we are with celebrating our 1 year anniversary.
That's wonderful. So about, I would assume about a year and a half ago, you've had to start selecting technology partners.
Sure,
Beyond TeleCloud, I'm sure you had to buy a lot of equipment, space,
sure.
personnel.
Yeah.
So tell us, in our specific world, why did you end up choosing TeleCloud over all the other options in the market?
I actually interviewed like this way with probably 5 to 6 other vendors, including Comcast and RingCentral and whatnot. And that was the choice for TeleCloud was very, very obvious for me. What I realized early on is that urgent care business is, in many senses, like a retail business where the consumer is our patients, and if you think about the sales funnel concept, until that consumer has called the clinic over the phone, and we have been able to successfully convert that consumer into a patient, you have gained nothing. And that point of inflection, that point of interaction, in many cases happens over the phone. And so it is extremely critical to make that interaction successful, uh, to have the right technology. So whenever we are thinking about, buying or partnering with a vendor or buying a solution, buying a system, buying a software, the three components that has been top of my priority is people, process, and technology, right? So you have to have the right tool and technology, and then only the right tool and technology can enable to train your people, can enable to establish the right process. If you don't have the right tool and technology, no matter how hard you try, you will be facing risk, you'll be facing failures. So
Thank
this
you.
choice from many different perspectives was a very obvious choice for us. I'll give you a very succinct example, and this is from one of our front desk team members who is also a medical assistant. This person is still with the clinic and actually a super performer. He has been one of the best performers, and one of the calls I listened that he attended during the very first few weeks is the patient is calling and asking, and we do these follow-up calls after a patient has visited our clinic. Next day we call and we ask how the patient is doing. So this employee calls the patient, "How are you doing, ma'am?" And the patient says, "I'm not doing well." And the employee says, "Thank you for letting us know. We appreciate that feedback. We'll see you soon." Unless you work in the urgent care business, you don't really probably understand from the very simplicity of the call how destructive this call was. When a patient is calling and saying, "I'm not doing well," the immediate response should really be, "Can we see you soon? Can we do something for you? Can we book you another appointment?" And unless an owner is aware of this situation, and unless an owner has access to these kind of calls, unless the owner, instead of being punitive, can engage with the employee to train, to make situation better and improve upon it, these calls will be your killer or cause for your failure for your clinic. And having a tool like TeleCloud enabled me to listen to the call almost in a live manner. If I needed, I could have actually interrupted the call and corrected it that way. But I chose not to do that. I chose to follow up with the team. I chose to follow up with the manager of the team, establish a training course, and make sure that this kind of issues happen less and less and less. And that was all possible because of the features and functionalities of TeleCloud. So I cannot
No.
appreciate enough. That's just one example. I can bring up like hundreds of examples like this, where listening to the calls gave us the opportunity to refine and refine and refine to the point where we started to write the script and record on telecloud calls. Like how should a call be handled? How should an immigration physical call be handled? How should a follow-up call be handled? How should a first-time patient calling call should be handled? And that was all possible because of the tool we have.
More specifically, have you or your staff ever needed support or guidance from TeleCloud, and have they been responsive when you do need something?
Sure. So as I've mentioned to you that out there, when we evaluate software or solution, we look at the top tier like Comcast, we look at RingCentral, and then we look at TeleCloud. which is, in my mind, is a niche player, but is specializing or already specialized in urgent care clinic support, right? The advantage of working with a niche player is they are nimble. They are available when you want, whenever you want, and the exact kind of support. They will customize the solution if needed for you. That's a big plus to work with a niche player that is also specializing in your kind of industry. And that's like a win-win situation for us. And so whenever we have a particular problem, they are picking up the phone almost like 24/7. Late at night, I get responses from Matt, Vincent on particular issues we are trying to solve, right? And on top of it, it's for us small clinics like us, cost is a big matter. So when everything is combined, the affordability of the solutions we are providing, the functionalities like call center functionalities, which easily can get very, very expensive for a small clinic like us, but the price that you have packaged it for us. And whenever we need to solve some unique problems, you are there for us. All those factors combined, this was an excellent solution for us.
Thank you so much. Would you recommend TeleCloud to other healthcare practices and urgent cares, and anything else you'd like to share to close this out?
Yeah, hands down, anytime. I mean, any franchisee or a business owner first needs to understand what my needs are and what can I get from, like, if you are just going after bare minimum need, then you're shortchanging your business, and you're facing problems that you either don't cannot identify and solve easily, or you are focusing on other aspects of the business that are important too. But this is the point of interaction where your consumer is converting to your customer. If you give it enough importance, then you will know that you need a good solution. Then you know that you need a software like TeleCloud.
Thank you. That
Of
was.
course,
Thank you so much. This was
of course,
wonderful.
no problem.